Dear viewer, welcome to this video about OpenWeatherMap and API requests in Node-RED. In the coming weeks, we're going to take a deeper dive also in different APIs, but right now we're going to start with an easier API, which is also able to function with its own node. So the developer provides an own node, so we don't need to make a lot of configuration, and we can get data into our Node-RED project fairly easily. We're going to start by installing the required nodes to request weather data from OpenWeatherMap. For this, click on the top right hand side and then click Manage Palette. Click Install, type in OpenWeather, and you will see here it appears OpenWeatherMap. I've already installed it. Just click on the install button, wait until the message appeared that the nodes have been installed successfully. Quick information to this, you need to have internet connected so the Node-RED project can actually download these nodes. So if you're working on a Raspberry Pi, first make sure that the internet is working. When everything is installed, down here 2 new nodes will appear, and we're going to drag one of them in our project now. And let's make a double click on it, and we will see that there's an API key required. An API key is basically an access token which grants you access to this request, so the OpenWeatherMap will allow you to get through. Your API you have to get from the OpenWeatherMap homepage. I've opened it right here. You have to make an account, and then you can click on My API Keys, and then you will see right here a key which has been provided for you. So click in the top right hand side, copy this key by copy Control and C, and then go back to your Node-RED project, insert it to the API key field, and then we can select already a place for where or for which we want to get weather data. So let's select Los Angeles in the US, and let's already try the API with this static input. So we will connect the inject as well as a debug node, deploy, and we will inject timestamp, and after some seconds we will see an object appears with information about the weather in Los Angeles. Let's say we want to display the temperature Celsius on our dashboard. We can do this by first, let's put a text field on our dashboard in which we can insert the value of the temperature, and then let's take a change node, this one right here, connect it, and connect the backside of the OpenWeatherMap to this change. Now we will set the message.payload object, which is right here. As you can see, this is brought you by this debug. We can grab different values out of this object by selecting their path. For example, if we want temperature Celsius, we want to set our msg.payload object to the value of msg.payload and .tempc, like this. And it will take only this value which is listed here on the right side. And we can insert this then to our dashboard. Important, a dashboard node or any other node which will transform the data you have here, you can't directly connect the backside of here. It doesn't know which one of these values to take. So you have to filter it by taking, for example, a change node. So I need to create a new dashboard tab and a new flow. So like this, and then we will call this the label temperature loss for LA. And we can even add label on the back side of it. So let's deploy, and let's open the dashboard. Of course, now there's no temperature. We need to inject first. And right now we see there's a temperature on our dashboard which appeared. Now our goal is to make the city and country dynamic, so we can change the city while the program is running. For this, we will create first a form on our dashboard, which will make us able to input data to our project. And we will test the form first, and then from this form, we will put it into our OpenWeatherMap node, which then will change the location according to what we put in the form. Let's create a new dashboard group and call it dynamic input. And let's add the form to this dynamic input, and we need of course two values. First we need a city, and then we need also a country, which are both required, otherwise we can't. And let's try first the form, what comes out of here. So let's say we want the city of Berlin in Germany, so DE. You need to use the short term. This is also described when you click under the node and the book right here. We will use it further afterwards. And as you can see, two sub-object, two city and country definitions have appeared right here, and we can use them further. Right now we're going to connect the output of the form to a global variable. A global variable means that the variable, the value, can be called upon from any node in any flow in the project. So we will do this by taking a change node and setting global dot whatever we want, I will call it input, to the value of msg.payload. This will mean that we can reach this variable from this flow, but we can reach it also from other flows we might create right here. Note that if we select here instead of global flow, the variable will only be reachable in the flow. So let's test this out. Go back to the dashboard, put in Berlin in Germany, submit, and then we can switch right here, drop down to context data, and we can update right here by pressing refresh. And as you can see, the variable input has been defined. Now we're going to use these values to adopt our input, our OpenWeatherMap requests, and we will put a new one in our project. Note that you need to copy again your API key, because you can't copy it from here. It's locked right here. If I copy this, I won't get a correct API key for safety reasons, so we need to copy it again, insert current weather for. We can leave everything like this because right now we're going to make the city and country variable. And we will also use an inject, and between this OpenWeatherMap and the inject we will need a function. And to understand what we need to do in the OpenWeatherMap, we need to open the description of this node. And as you can see here, it's defined that we can use the msg.location.city part of an object to read the data from the specific location that we want. So let's do this right now. We need to override the whole MSG object, and we will need to pass only the required values. So let's put MSG equals brackets and then location and then dot, and here we will have two sub objects which are city and country. And of course, these two we want to set to the values that we inputted to the global.input. So let's get in our function right here the global.input by creating first a variable. You can make it var or const, whatever you prefer. Let's create a var and call it input imp equals to global.get, and then brackets, the name is input. This name needs to be the same as the one you have defined right here. And now we know that if we will call this, we will have in the variable imp, we will have two sub objects, city and country. So we can just put here imp.city, and here of course we need this one, the double dots, and country double dot imp.country. Like this, everything is set up, and the function will be able to pass the information to OpenWeatherMap to the node. Since we already have information about city and country, we can already test the node. Let's inject, and as we can see right here, location has been set to Berlin and the temperatures are according. Now we want to display the information that everything worked to the user. We will do this by adding some informational fields in the dashboard. So let's use some change nodes to grab certain parts of this object right here. Let's use msg.payload.location first to confirm that the location has been set correctly. Let's copy this, and let's as well display the temperature to the user right here. I will copy the node for the temperature because we already created a similar one. Of course, I need to adjust the place of this node to the lower, so to this part right here, dynamic input, and it's not in LA, so it's just temperature. I will connect this one, and I will copy it again because it's just a text input. We will delete the Celsius at the end, and we will call it location, and it's also in the dynamic input. Let's go to the dashboard tab and arrange everything. Let's put the location above the temperature, and like this we are set to go. And one thing we will add now as well to this one right here is we will make that the request will automatically update every few seconds. We can do that by double clicking on the timestamp node or the inject node, and then down here on repeat we can select interval, and let's say we want to update every 2 seconds. Deploy this, and if we switch, we see automatically an update has been made. Let's put in another city. Let's put in London, the United Kingdom, submit. Let's wait for 1-2 seconds. And as we can see, the city has been changed to London right now. Thank you for watching this tutorial. We would like to adjust our content according to the needs of our viewers. That's why we ask you to input into the comments what you're currently working on and what your problems are with Node-RED. And we will try to focus our content on your inputs.